So there are, without getting too spoilery, there are some boss fights. There are certainly a couple of encounters that feel boss-ish. Like there may not be a life bar on the screen, but there are definitely encounters that are meant to test you in different ways than typical encounters do. I'm sorry if I'm being super vague.
No, I'm glad you are.
Most people prefer that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
You're making me
spoil
think of
certain
like
things.
the way you'd be running around the world in Dead Rising, and all of a sudden there'd be like a super freak that you'd have to take down.
Sure, that's not a terrible way to look at it at all. So yeah, there are those other traditional boss fights. There are.
I mean, have
couple.
there ever been traditional boss fights in Metal Gear?
Well, I mean, I guess instead of traditional, I mean formalized in the sense that hey,
Right.
here's a life meter, a life bar, and your goal is now to deplete the life bar of this large and or particularly difficult enemy. Like yes, there are a couple of those in the game.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I guess I kind of had that sense with Ground Zeroes because Ground Zeroes is kind of like a little chunk, kind of introducing you to the mechanics, and I was always sort of surprised that we didn't have a boss fight there because that's something Kojima's so well known for. But then you think about it, and they were trying to reinvent kind of tactical espionage action in an open world environment, and like how does that translate? It's kind of hard to figure out how to have a scripted kind of just a dramatic like just a pageantry heavy boss reveal when you're like able to choose your exact point of entry. You know?
Sure. I think almost every open world game is kind of not necessarily struggling with that right now, but they're not exactly dealing with it head on either. You know,
Yeah,
Right,
It's a set piece will kind of break the freedom and yeah.
And that's the tough thing about it, and that's one of the things that Metal Gear does
except
really.
for Bloodborne, which totally nailed it.
That's one of the things that Metal Gear Solid 5 does really, really well is like they're like, all right, we're not going to give you a set piece. We're going to give you the building blocks of a set piece, and we're going to set a stage, and a set piece could happen.
Well, that's why I love the intro of your review. Like that frame around that mission is really interesting to me because that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounds so exciting, and like discovering that for yourself and having your own unique experience with it is like the perfect game to me. Like
Yeah.
I love that idea.